Good morning. Well,
Hello.
almost lunchtime now where I am. So this is new grounds for me. Everybody, this is Terry. She's a social media manager and she's going to be sharing some of her tips and why she started her business and hopefully give us some insight on why social media is so important, how we can learn more about it, and how it can actually benefit our businesses to actually grow. Now, I'm launching out into something a little bit new. I usually do like brand collaborations with interviewing people and then writing about their services and the hope to encourage other people out there to start their own business and really find out who the creative is behind their actual business. But this time round, I'm going to test things out with videos, and then who knows, it might develop into like a podcast or a regular thing. But Terry has kindly offered up her time to give us some insight and teach us a few things. So first of all, I'd like to ask you, who are you, Terry? Who are you really? And what led you to starting your actual business?
Well, it's a bit of a journey. I can't say it's always been something that I thought I was ever going to end up doing. If you would have asked me even a few years ago that I would even just own my own business, I probably would have laughed at you. Like some people I think sit there and they say, I've always been like someone that has wanted to own my own business. I've always had that mindset where I've been trying to make my own money. It hasn't always been that way for me. So this is something that I've completely stumbled upon. Originally, I'm from New Zealand. I'm a little Kiwi girl living in the Gold Coast, Australia. Yes, we're pretty awesome. So I moved over to Australia maybe about 8 or 9 years ago. And prior to, I was working in hospitality. I moved over here. I carried on doing hospitality. I probably worked in hospitality all in all for about maybe 8 or 9 years, just making coffee, serving people. And in all honesty, by the time I hit the point where I just couldn't do it anymore, I just felt like I just could not deal with people. I was like, I can't work with people. I don't like them anymore. They're just no. So I was like, I need to get an office job where I just don't have to deal with anyone. I just can't. So I was very fortunate enough because Gold Coast, if anyone has been here or lived here before, it's very hospitality based. So to get an office job, it's pretty much about who you know. Otherwise, you just pretty much pure lucky to get a role. So I was very fortunate enough to know someone that had a reception role going for the company that he was managing. So I stepped into that role, and it wasn't the most exciting role I've ever had, just answering phones and data entry and stuff like that. But I was out of hospitality. I was a happy little lady. So things were great.
Change of scenery.
Exactly. So that was that. And then from there, I've pretty much just moved through admin roles. And then I've kind of moved into the role that I'm in now, which is I'm still working full time on top of the biz. It's a bit of a juggling act, which keeps things interesting for the meantime. But the role that I'm in now, I moved into, which initially I applied for as an admin role. It's in real estate. The last 6 years or so, I've been doing admin for sales companies anyway. So I moved into this role just thinking it was more like sales admin, but it's half and half. So I'm doing sales administration and marketing for the sales team that I work for. So I'm doing the online advertisements. I'm managing their social media. I'm doing all the brochures, the paper mail outs, any Facebook ads, things like that. So it's been really, really interesting, and it's been great, and I've loved it. And if it wasn't for this role, I probably wouldn't be where I am today with the social media boss. So it's all just been kind of all these tiny little movements in the right direction, which has led me to here, which is incredible. But yeah, I honestly, I would never have expected to end up where I am now, and I love it. Every role I've been in, it's always been trying to kind of just work my way up to a bigger and better role. And every time I've got to that role, it hasn't been enough. And I feel like now finally doing it on the side, and just doing what I want to do and doing it for myself. I finally actually feel as cheesy as it sounds, just complete. It's where I'm meant to be, what I'm meant to be doing.
Because you're doing something for yourself.
Yeah.
You're creating something and you're like, wow, like I did this,
Yeah.
and in turn you'll be putting money into your own back pocket rather than putting money into your employer's back pocket.
Exactly.
And that's what
That's
it's
the
all
best
about.
part. Yeah.
No. So like that leads me on to like my next question. Would you say that like this has become like a passion of yours? Would you say that you started this business out of the pure passion and love for what you're doing? Or would you say you're more chasing like the income side of it and the lifestyle?
Look, at the end of the day, if I'm being completely honest, it's a bit of both worlds combined. Obviously,
That's awesome.
Yeah, well, like I've wanted to do and start my own business, because it's something that I enjoy, but I also wanted to start my own business so that I can live the life that I want to live, and eventually down the track when I've got kids, be able to have that flexibility with my time. But at the end of the day, you probably know how it is in a startup phase. Income is not consistent. Like it is,
No.
it is up and down.
Where
You don't know
is
when
that?
it's coming in. I know. So it's a little bit of a whirlwind, I suppose, of sorts. And you've got to have that passion for it, because if you don't and you're purely in it for the money, like you're in for a rude awakening. Unless you've left whatever job it was with a whole bunch of leads and or like money coming in from the get-go, like there's just no way. So you've got to love it. Otherwise, there's just no way that you could like carry on
It
doing
just
what
feels
you're
like
doing.
another job. Then I think if you don't love what you do, you're like, oh crap, it's Monday.
Yeah, exactly.
Where you like wake up and you're like, oh yes, it's Monday tomorrow. I'm gonna smash it. This is awesome. It's definitely, I think it 100% comes down to passion. And I meet a lot of people that come up to me and they're like, I don't know what my passion is. And I'm like, try everything.
Yeah.
Until one doesn't feel like a job. And
exactly.
then that's it.
Good old Marie Kondo. Does it spark joy?
Yeah, 100%. And that's what it comes down to. Like, what is your like favorite thing about being your own boss?
I think,
like what you like. Ooh.
There's probably actually a few things that like I love the most out of the whole thing. I think the biggest thing for me is just it's just so rewarding. Like it doesn't even matter. Like I've just launched my own membership, and obviously I've had a lot of fantastic feedback from that, which just fills my cup right up. Like the high I get of one tiny little message is just insane, and that makes it all worth it. But like even just for the content that I put out there, so it's just free content on my Instagram, my Facebook, whatever, and I get a message from someone saying how much has helped them, like, and knowing that's come from me, and like that's what I've been doing, like that's an incredible feeling. So I just love that. And probably just
like a self high five moment. You're
yes. Like, like I did that. Woohoo.
Yeah. I love that feeling.
But that, and probably just the fact as well that I get to, obviously still working full time, I don't really have much of a choice when it comes to my working hours. But like, for example, the weekends are without a doubt my two biggest days to smash out some work. But just having that chance to choose the hours that I work, because not everyone works at their peak 9 to 5 or 8:30 to 4:30 or whatever. So for me personally, like I like to work in the evenings, but I also like to work like first thing bright and early. So if it was up to me, I'd get up early, smash some things out, probably just go for an afternoon nap, and then just smash the rest out throughout the evening. So that's another
naps
bonus.
are gold, man.
Yeah.
Like who said naps had to be restricted to age? Like I think everyone should have a nap.
Yeah. They're actually lifesavers. I love for them.
This is why I think this interview is so important, especially to my viewers, because like you can't just quit your job and be like, oh yeah, cool, I'm going to start a business tomorrow. Like this is the raw and real reality of having two roles. And I was in this position for a very long time, and to be frankly honest, I still am. Like if it wasn't for my partner's support and time and effort that he actually puts into providing for us, then I wouldn't be able to do what I love. And you're on that peak where you're like, 6 more months, or like 3 more months, and then I'm gonna roll over. But what would you say is like the hardest thing about being your own boss?
I think probably at the moment is that, not having that consistent income as a startup initially. So you have to rely on your other job. Like you said, you know, you can't just quit your job and go into it unless you've got that financial like backup there already. We've got so much coming up. There's just no way, you know, like we've got a wedding in Italy. I've got my sister's wedding in New Zealand. We've got her 30th in New Zealand, like all of these trips
so
in the next.
cheap.
No, so like as much as I would love to just quit and focus all my time and energy into it, I suppose that's another thing, being your own boss to start with, is you've got to be realistic about things, and it's not just all like rainbows and sunshine, you know, you've got to put in the hard yards, and you've got to stick with it, you've got to be consistent, you've got to be good with your time management. And you know, one simple little thing that I've actually only just realized of recent, and it may sound absolutely ridiculous, but all these little things that you've never even had to worry about, you have to pay your own super. Like, all those little things,
you know? Pay everything with your own boss. You're like, oh, crap.
So,
yeah.
And like sick days. No one else is going to work for you if you're sick.
Business has still got to run.
Yeah. Little things like that.
Yeah, it can't be like, oh yeah, I've got 5 of those up my sleeve this year. Yeah, we'll put that in the back pocket. Yeah, no, it doesn't really work. It's going to take some annual leave. Yeah. What is that? Yeah. What would you like say is like the greatest obstacle that you've had to overcome and like establishing your business?
I think probably the time management. Especially like working online, like my business is obviously purely based online. So obviously I do a lot of work from home, and the distractions are real. Like it's so easy to just sit there and you just start scrolling. If you're based online, like for example, on Instagram. So I just end up scrolling through Instagram, just pointlessly scrolling, refreshing your feed. Just like, yeah. It's hard sometimes. Like I've gotten to the point now, I've switched all my notifications off on my phone, and I will allocate certain like time slots to get the work done. I will literally hide my phone from myself and like ban myself. I'm like, okay, you're going to go and work. You're going to go and work for 3 or 4 hours straight, and you're not going to touch your phone once. Like that's the rules, and that's your reward once you've smashed out that work. So that's been like the biggest thing, because initially starting, I could probably sit there for hours and not get anything done. So a bit of a wake up call.
I know what you mean. Like, and you just like, I'm the worst at getting sidetracked, especially when it comes to like Instagram, like, cause I've got like, I follow like over 1,000 people. Yeah. And I'll sit on stories, and I'm like, no, I can't do like 1,000 stories. But then I just get caught in the moment. I'm like, I'm like, put it down. No more stories.
Oh my gosh,
best worst thing.
I've just got onto TikTok because I was like, okay, I've got to get onto this.
I want to do this.
Oh, it is like, I haven't even made any videos for it yet. I've just literally spent like my whole entire time scrolling. It's like all the best and funniest videos that you see on Facebook, but without all the crap. So yeah, be prepared to kill a lot of time.
I have a TikTok account, but I haven't done anything yet. So like, I'll find you, and then I'm going to look at what you put up, and I'll be like, okay, yeah. Because I'm not like, I don't find myself funny. I'm like, how can we use this platform to monetize for business? It's so huge right now.
Yeah, you know? It is huge,
And then my kids were like, you're on TikTok? And I'm like, like even my 5-year-old knows what TikTok is. And I'm like,
it is starting to boom, Trying to get amongst it, that's for sure.
It's like any other platform, you know, like once upon a time, you know, Instagram was only for photographers.
Yeah.
And now look at it.
It's booming for
businesses. Like I think it will move over. Yeah. So like, what plans do you have, Terry, for developing in the future? Like, where do you want to go with your business?
I have big dreams, real big dreams.
I love that. Yeah.
So ideally, this is obviously probably, I don't know, it'd be a long time away, I would say. But ideally, moving forward in the future, I would like to ultimately have the membership in place still, but have it more or less. So at the moment, like Instagram's my thing, right? Like that's what I love. That is my niche. Like it's my jam. So at the moment, that's what I'm focusing on, and I love it. Like that's what I thrive off, and that's what I want to keep doing. Ultimately, be the teacher on for my company for Instagram. But moving forward, I would like to bring in other experts from other platforms and have them kind of as, I suppose, contractors or just full-time working for me, providing the same membership but for those different platforms, and then potentially have like different tiered platforms where you can combine two different social media platforms together and so on and so forth, and have different tiers and different, just different areas that you can kind of branch out to depending on what you want to focus on as a business. So that's long-term goals for sure. Yeah,
like, especially because you work with a lot of female entrepreneurs and female orientated creative businesses. I don't think I've actually seen somebody who's actually doing that. Like, I know of a lot of like big multi-million-dollar companies who do that sort of thing, but they're monetizing in the medium to corporate enterprise. I don't actually think I know anybody who's doing that in a small enterprise sector.
Yeah,
that's gold. I would 100% be pursuing that.
It's still foreign territory. There's a lot of plans to put in place, and a lot of money to be made first.
Yeah, as you set yourself a goal and you don't know how you're going to get there. It's just literally the journey of getting there. Yeah. And then you'll look back one day and you'll be like, I did that.
Sorry, we've got a little guest talking.
You're all right. So, what advice would you give others wanting to start their own business?
Probably my number one advice would be just to start, and probably, I know you said one, but I would also like to add in just not comparing yourself to others as well. I think those two things.
That's so hard.
It is hard, and you hear it so often as well, and it seems so straightforward, but I really think those are probably the two biggest things I'd have to take away from it all, especially coming from being an admin. I've always kind of prided myself on being very organized. Sorry, bear with me 2 moments. I've just got a crazy cat. No, sorry. Honestly, I swear it's like having toddlers sometimes.
I can't wait to have a conversation with you when you do have them.
You'll be like, yeah, no, it doesn't compare. But I think, especially coming from an admin-based background, doing a lot of reporting and stuff like that, I had to be very meticulous, very a perfectionist with everything. There was no room for any errors, any mistakes. So, and I think starting your own business, obviously, because it's your own work as well, you already think you're a perfectionist, but you don't realize how much of a perfectionist you are when you first start. You want everything to be incredible, amazing, right up to scratch. But I think the biggest thing that I've come to learn is you're just never really 100% happy. You're always going to be changing things. You're always going to be expanding into new areas, learning different things. There's always going to be something that you want to change or something you're just not 100% happy with. So I think the biggest thing is just get started. At the end of the day, you're going to be one step ahead and one day ahead completely from what you were the day before. And the comparisonitis, mate, that shit is real. And I used to say first getting into it, no, I'm not even going to worry about it. They've been in this for so much longer and I can't even it's just silly. And then the next minute I'd sit there and be like, how come I don't have this engagement? How come I don't have this and this? So yeah, that's a big thing. And I'm not gonna lie, I still have funky days when you sit there and you're like, how come someone like that is doing this and I'm sitting here like this and I'm going hard, but it's just a funky day. We all have them. Yeah. But don't
just go brush it off, girl. Go brush it off and carry on. Yeah, exactly. 100%. So hard sometimes, but what would you say, who are your greatest mentors in your business today? Who do you look to for inspiration when you need to get stuff done? Where do you take that from?
Look, if we're talking big dogs, Gary Vee for sure. I know he's quite a controversial person.
He's either somebody you love or you hate. And I've met a lot of people who don't like his content. I'm like, dude, you just don't like it because it's real, it's raw, and he's right.
Yeah, exactly. There's just no bullshit. Yeah.
Yeah, people are oh, he's such a this, he's such a that. And I was like, dude, he obviously knows what the hell he's doing.
Yeah.
Look
at him.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, like I already loved his content. I already loved like how he spoke about everything. But I went and seen him at an event. I think it might have been maybe.
You seen him?
Yeah, and he was
to Australia just recently.
Yeah, amazing.
I'm so jealous. Okay, now I'm comparing myself.
Honestly, it was amazing.
Epic.
Yeah, it was so great.
Did you answer any questions?
No, so you had to be like real quick to get up there, and we were like in the middle section, and there was just like people were lining up to ask questions like from the get-go. So, and like there was a massive line, probably even half the line didn't even get to ask the questions, but it was a bit of a shame because there was just some stupid questions asked. Like they didn't pick people. You lined up and
I listened to
the
podcast that he released. Like I jammed them at night, and like you just roll your eyes at some of them, and you're like, you got to speak to him and you asked him that.
I know.
Like, you did a podcast on that last week. Did you not listen?
But you know, he was amazing. Like it was quite funny because he just makes everything seem so simple, and it is so simple. It's just your mindset, you know, and that's all it comes down to. Yeah, 100%. So him for sure, 100%. Love his stuff. But if I'm talking like general, like pretty much like day-to-day kind of things that keep me going, is just really the members that I've got now and the online community. Like I said before, all it takes is just like one little message to say like, this tip that you shared the other day has helped me with this and this. And I am honestly like, I'm buzzing. I am absolutely buzzing, and it just motivates me so much. So that would be without a doubt the biggest thing that keeps me going.
And I know what you mean. That's where it comes from. It's the reason why we do what we do. Like, would you have any advice that you want to give us, like any of my audience? Because you know, a lot of people that I deal with, you know, don't really know much about technology or social media. You know, what is your like number one advice that you would give people just starting out in the Instagram front? You know, what can they do to like optimize their reach?
I think the biggest thing that actually gets overlooked so often, which is crazy when you think about it, is just engaging and being social. Like social media is there to be social. And I think so many people kind of think, you know, like, I've got a business, I need to be really formal. Like, let's just jump on here and we'll put out like some products and sell. Like, it just doesn't work like that. So I think just learning to kind of embrace your personality, and that you can afford to be a little bit more informal than what you would be on like LinkedIn and on your website and things like that. So that's the beauty of it all. You can jump on, you can let your personality shine through and engage with everyone. Like, it's all about being social and building communities. So if someone writes on your post, like, write back. People see that, and it encourages them to keep engaging with your content. Like, if people are writing on your stuff and you don't write back, no one's going to want to write to you. So I think that's the biggest thing.
How would you find your ideal customer or like your targeted audience in that area? Like, say for somebody who's like, right, I'm going to start a business, I'm going to open an Instagram account. How would that person, for example, find their targeted audience, like through social media? Because it's just such a huge platform. Like, what tips would you give that person?
Look, I could delve into so many areas. I think the first thing to start off with is just optimizing your profile properly. So like, you want to make sure that your profile photo, if you've got a personal brand, a headshot is perfect. You know, you're selling yourself at the end of the day. So you want to put that face to the name and introduce yourself straight off the bat. And then having your username as your business name, and optimize that name section, because that's, yet again, that's SEO friendly. So you've got keywords in there, like I've got Instagram training for mine. So if someone jumps in the search tab and they're looking for some Instagram training and they type in that, I'm going to be someone that pops up. So that's a really, really big thing. That actually helps your clients come to you, which is what you want at the end of the day. But I think another big thing is just really, you know, using your hashtags as well. You can niche down on your hashtags, which is incredible. Not only can you use your hashtags on your own posts, but you can also, once you've nailed down who your ideal client is, think about what hashtags they'd be using and jump in and search those hashtags and find their content and start, you know, following them, engaging on their content, start growing that relationship and building that trust with them. There's so many things. It's crazy.
I think people need to subscribe subscribe to your membership to like get the full training out of this. I'm really like, you know, it's such a massive, you know, area to go into. Like, so that like brings me to like, do you have any like promotions you're running at the moment that could, you know, help people starting out in business or encourage them? Like, how can you help us?
Well, I've got the membership, which I've just launched. So to celebrate that launch, and I'll only be keeping this open for a limited time, it's generally $25 a month, which is still cheap as chips when you're getting so much value. You know, you're getting weekly lessons. You've got a members only Facebook group where I will just be there 24/7 for support. If you've got any questions, fire away. You know, we'll be doing members only groups, all of the things. There's so much value in there. But to start off and to celebrate, I really just wanted to give everyone the opportunity to join up. It's so cheap anyway for so much value, but have a month free and just $19.95 per month. That doesn't go up. So yeah, it's exciting. So I wanted everyone to get amongst
it. Awesome. Yeah, no, I'll definitely be sharing that link. So, you know, I know a lot of people who would like hugely benefit, you know, it's because you're learning how to do it yourself rather than paying somebody to do it for you.
But no, just making it fun again.
Yeah, for like offering that to us and like sharing that, you know, with like the community that we have behind us. But I want to thank you for taking time out of your Sunday. I know you're like a really busy woman, especially juggling everything that's on your plate at the moment. And just thank you for being a part of this. And I look forward to featuring some of your stuff in the future.
Yes.
Exciting things are going to happen.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me. Honestly, it's been a blast.
Yeah, thanks so much, Terry.